Alright, so this demonstration is going to show you how to build a three-dimensional letter using just cardboard and tape and paper mache. So as you can see right here, this is a three-dimensional letter H, and I'm going to go through the steps on how to complete that. So, step number one is to draw out and cut out a letter using cardboard. So right here I just have an L, but for each shape you're going to actually need two different letters cut out. So once you have your first letter cut out, the simplest way to do this is to just trace your first letter on a second piece of cardboard and cut it out then from there. So there's different ways you can cut this out. You can use scissors, or you can use a box cutter or an X-Acto knife. Whatever's easiest for you or what's safest. Scissors is probably a little bit safer, but if you want to use an X-Acto knife, it's pretty easy to cut nice straight lines with this. So I would put something underneath it so it doesn't scratch your table, but just slice it like this. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect on your original line, but as long as it's pretty close, then you should be good to go. And sometimes you have to turn it around and clean it up on the other side. Just so you know it's completely cut out. Just like this. And once you have two cardboard cutouts of the same letter, then you can actually begin constructing it. And one way to do this is to use these little Dixie cups and to hot glue them throughout the letter. And once they're hot glued, you can attach it like this, and it gives you a three-dimensional L, just like that. So here's one that's already glued. This is a three-dimensional R. As you can see, the Dixie cups are glued in there. It's pretty sturdy, ready to roll. After this step, that's when you actually come in and you use masking tape to tape all the edges of your letter. And just to let you know, the curved letters, if you do bubble letters, those could be kind of tricky. It's a little bit easier to paper mache this when you have straight edges. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Alright, once you have all of your tape complete and you've covered up all the edges of your letter, that's when you can actually begin the paper mache part. So what you're going to need is some Elmer's glue, maybe a little container to pour it in. If a little bowl might be good, because what we're going to be doing is dipping our pieces of paper in here to paper mache this. But you're just going to mix glue with a little bit of water, probably so it's at the consistency of like tempera paint, maybe a little bit watery, a little bit more watery than tempera paint. And you're going to want to rip off some pieces of paper here, or you can use newspaper. Anything that's kind of thin works really well. And what you do is you take your strips here of paper, or your newsprint, and you're going to dip it into the watery glue, kind of squeeze off the extra glue, and you're going to place them and wrap it around your letters. So this is what that looks like. This is a messy job, so make sure you put something down on the table you're working at so your parents don't get upset with you for making a huge mess. So I dunk that into the watery glue, get it completely soaking wet, and then bring it over to your project here and wrap it right around like this and smoothen it out. And then you can take another piece, do the same thing, dump that in there. Now you can see why it'd be a good idea to use maybe a bowl instead of a cup, so it's easier to dip this in there. And I just kind of squeegee it down with my fingers so that it gets all the extra glue off. And you just overlap it and smoothen it out like this. And you continue this throughout the entire shape.